Hi, my name is Megan, and this is Everything Lit. Good morning. It is, oh, you can see my bathroom. Let's tilt. It is the first day of new Book Knockout. I'm very excited. I did not stay up until midnight last night to read. Oops. I was very tired. I had a prickly pear margarita and I did not feel like reading at midnight, so I didn't. But I have started this morning. I live streamed for like half an hour because, let's be honest, no one showed up. But also, I would have kept live streaming and kept it on my channel. Yeah, hi Puff. But I didn't do enough research ahead of time. I thought it would be like Zoom where you can just like share your screen easily. It's not. So I couldn't share the timer. Puff. Ah! Puff. She thinks if you're talking to her. Oh my Puff. So I couldn't share the timer on the screen, which felt weird. You're just watching me reading with no idea what's happening if you don't know what reading sprints are. So I did it for a half an hour, and now I have privated it on my channel. I might change my mind, but we'll see. During the 20-minute sprint, I read poems from Bless the Daughter Raised by a Voice in Her Head by Warson Shire. I am really liking these poems. I don't know how to read poetry. You know, I feel like it takes more time and emotional investment than I generally give, you know? Like, I feel like I like reading poems to analyze a poem, but I don't know that I like reading poems just to read poems. Or maybe I just haven't found anything that speaks to me. It's something that I want to explore, but I'm kind of struggling with. I will say my favorite poem so far, I really loved the poem Backwards. It was emotional and fantastic, and I do like, this is good poetry, I think. It's got good images, good, like, there is emotion there and it is doing something, but I just can't access what it's doing. That also could be, this talks about being Somali and the immigrant experience, and like, obviously I don't have those things to connect with, so maybe that's part of the struggle. I'm probably gonna finish it in the next 10 minutes. I have like 3 poems left, and then I'm going to read Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor. I didn't finish the 2 books I was reading before, so I'm reading the Paris Hilton memoir and The Death of Mrs. Westaway, and I kind of want to try to finish both of those today and just get them done. I may also start The Swimmers because I do have the audiobook for that, and the audiobook's only like 4 hours. So lots of reading is going to get done this weekend because I can't guarantee how much is going to happen the rest of the week. Yeah, join me on this new book knockout week. Let's try and knock out some prompts. Because my car is hot, but what would a vlog be without a little Barnes & Noble trip? So I went to Barnes & Noble. I'm on my way to my parents, and the reason I went to this Barnes & Noble in particular because the copy of Camp Sylvania that I got was damaged, and this was the only Barnes & Noble near me with a physical copy. So I exchanged my copy for a unripped version, and then I have a little haul, and you know what? Let's just go through it now. Because then I have to run to Crumble and I have to run to Bush's. And because it's Pride Month, you know how many gay books I bought? I think they're all gay, except maybe one. So I got Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Drzejowski. I think I murdered that name. This is a queer love story about 2 gay men in communist Poland. It's been compared to Call Me By Your Name, which I don't love because Call Me By Your Name is sketchy, but this sounds like they are both university students instead of one being like a 14-year-old boy. you know. I picked up The Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen by KJ Charles. I've never read a KJ Charles, but they've been on my radar for years, several years. And I wasn't gonna get this, and then I turned the corner and there it was, and it was the only copy. And I thought, you know what? Most of the Barnes & Nobles near me, like, this is the best stocked Barnes & Noble, and it's like 40 minutes away from me. I picked up An Island Princess Starts a Scandal by Adriana Herrera. This was another one that I didn't mean to get today, but I didn't know that this was a sapphic romance, and I've been hearing just a lot of good things about it. The people whose books I like, such as Ashley Herring Blake, have been putting this on their social media, and you know what? I am not immune. Can you tell that I'm getting more and more sweaty as we sit here? This is the book I went in for because guess what? None of the Barnes & Nobles by me have it. It's called We Could Be So Good by Cat Sebastian. I've loved Cat Sebastian's other historical fiction queer romances. This is different from their like 1800 series. This is set in the 1950s newspaper. People have compared it to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Casey McQuiston. So I already love this author, so why wouldn't I? And surprisingly, they had A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne. This was published a couple years ago. This is also queer, about a man who steals stories. It's kind of a Gilderoy Lockhart situation, if you know Harry Potter, where he steals other people's books and makes a name for himself as a famous author. Let me read you what NPR said. It says, take Meg Wolitzer's novel The Wife and cross it with Patricia Highsmith's classic Ripley stories about a suave psychopath, and you've got something of the crooked charisma of John Boyne's new novel, A Ladder to the Sky. Love that. So for Pride Month, I bought 6 new queer books. Am I going to read any of them for this readathon? Maybe. What if I swap out Murder, A Modern Girl's Guide to Murder? It's Sunday, it's Father's Day, and for Father's Day, I'm doing a typical father activity and finally mowing my backyard. It is a jungle out there, and I have just put it off and put it off. I've done the front yard a couple times, but like, who cares about the backyard? The city isn't gonna find me for the backyard. So I let it get out of control. But let me do a quick book update. I started Zachary Ying yesterday. I didn't get very far in. I'm like 34 pages in. Wild stuff is happening. The pace is very quick. And for a second I was like, hold on. This seems like it's going too fast. I don't know. Like, I haven't really gotten enough of the character Zach before we are hopping right into being possessed by a spirit, and it's somehow tied to this video game. I'm a little hesitant about the pacing, but I think it's gonna be good. I like this author's writing. I like what they do. There are already, or have already been, a little like smidge of queerness. Our main character is like 13, so I don't think, you know, it might go like crush status. We're not gonna get, I don't think we'll get any like romance. This is an action book, but I think it's the start of a series. So promising, very promising. And then the other thing I'm reading, I'm gonna be listening to The Swimmers while I mow the lawn, have this on audio. I'm about 14% into the audiobook. I was listening to it while Diva sat on my lap because I couldn't get up and go anywhere, because you know, once a cat settles, well, she's not there anymore. Because you know, once a cat settles, you can't unseat them. Oh, she's right below me. There she is. She's not in her seat anymore. She's out surveying her territory. So there's the lawnmower and the lawn I'm about to mow. Isn't that right, Diva? We've got Squeaks and Little Puff. Everyone else is inside chilling. But Diva loves the sunroom. When the sunroom door isn't open, she'll like run into the back room and scrabble at it if we even move towards it. She's like, let me out. I want to be in the sun. Her little black cat heart is just like sunlight. I am really liking The Swimmers already. It is told in like a plural we, as like the swimmers of this underground pool. I'm still in the first like section, and it's just magical. It's magical. It's sweet. It's wholesome, I think. I can't describe the joy that I felt on those first couple like descriptions of what it means to be a swimmer and how you feel while swimming and how it's a completely different world. I love swimming. I don't get to swim as often as I would like, but my Pisces sun really jumps out when water is around. I love the water, any kind of water. So it made me look up, there is a like aquatic fitness center nearby. It's at a high school, but you can pay for a membership. I'm not part of the county where it would be cheaper, but I put a reminder in my phone to maybe do that in August. I want to save up some money first because I'm not a member of that school district. It's a little more expensive, like $350 a year. So I got to save up a little bit for that before I commit. Maybe pay for like a day pass and go check it out before I pay a lot of money. Already, you know, half an hour into this audiobook, I'm like, where's the nearest pool? I need to go there. So I'm really liking it. I feel like it could make me cry, could make me feel things. So this is day 2 of the readathon and I've only finished one book, Salty. I did finish The Death of Mrs. Westaway, which isn't part of the readathon. I guess it could be, but it's not. Eva? Yeah. Are you in your little rocket ship? Freshly showered, finished mowing the lawn, and I have been listening to The Swimmers on audio. It's only like a 4-hour audiobook, so I'm thinking I'll finish it tonight. The Swimmers is really about one of the swimmers, Alice, and Alice has Alzheimer's, and we see this progress in the swimmer chapters. They mention like everyone is nice to Alice, and Alice has been there for years, and then a crack appears in the bottom of the pool. The next chapter is all about Alice and the things she remembers and the things she does not remember. And I'm actually really glad I'm listening to it on audio because it is a list story. Like usually you have a section where it'll list things. Station 11 does this. A lot of literary books do this as a way to condense words and space, but also give an idea of something. The list is of things she does remember and things she doesn't. So it'll say like, she does remember, you know, her daughter. She doesn't remember her name. She remembers giving this man her daughter's phone number. She doesn't remember his name. Like she asks for his name and then 5 minutes later, she remembers that she doesn't remember his name. Like very squeaks, no. Which I feel like reading that with your eyes could get monotonous and you could just start to skip over. Are you going to try to jump up here? You better not. Squeaks is trying to jump where I'm holding my phone. But listening to it, I feel like has more power. And I feel like the end of the book is going to hurt me. I have not read any more of Zachary Ying yet. I might write a little bit tonight. I always set these goals and then when I check in, I'm like, yeah, I didn't do that. But my goal is to finish The Swimmers today and get 100 pages into Zachary Ying. I'll update you before bed and see if I did. I'm obsessed with this Cheeto pillow. It's like the perfect size and shape to put on my shoulder and then lay on. Anyway, let's talk books because I'm gonna watch an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Before I go to bed. I did not finish The Swimmers. I think I'm 63% of the way in, have an hour and a half of the audiobook left. It's like 70 pages of the book. It bugs me so much that I can't finish it, but I'm at that point in my life where I know that I need to sleep. Otherwise, I will be very unhappy tomorrow. And even if I'm not going to bed as early as I would like, I still can't be up until like 1 reading, which growing up is a scam and it sucks. I guess it's not even growing up because I'd still be up until 1 if I could. The scam is having responsibilities and having to pay for things. So I have to go to work. Ugh. I think I'm at the same point I was when I last updated you in The Swimmers. But I have read more of Zachary Ying. Guess what? Didn't make it to page 100. I think I'm on page 93. Could I read 7 more pages? Sure, yes, but I time my reading and 7 pages would not be 10 minutes, so I'm not gonna do it because that's just how my brain works. I keep track of all my reading in 10-minute intervals and then I color code it in my little tracker. So if it's not 10 minutes, I generally don't want to do it. This book, I was a little skeptical at first, but it is so good. It's filled with adventure, it's filled with mythology, it's filled with history, absolutely incredible. And I think it's a little funny that the author is exploring sort of a different side of the same characters that she used as inspiration for Iron Widow, but like, I get it. If you're obsessed with something, you just want to, it's like fan fiction of your own work or fan fiction of history. I don't know. It's fantastic. This is an amazing book to give to kids to teach them about history in a super relatable way. Like, all the history and historical movements and the things that these emperors did is being compared to video games, whether it's MMOs, massively multiplayer online games, or like point system games or mythological games. Like, it's so well done. I feel like I'm learning so much about ancient China and a little bit about current day China too. Like, Zach as a main character is easy to root for. The stakes are high. His mother gets affected by this and she's kind of in a coma while he's on this adventure. I'm excited to keep reading it. I've still only finished 1 book for the readathon so far, and we are about to be on day 3. Good morning. I did not read a lot yesterday, but I thought I'd check in with my coffee before work. My friend and I went and saw The Little Mermaid yesterday. It was not good. I did not like it. It felt like a cash grab. They're like the main actors, they did great. They were trying real hard. But the costumes, the music, the new songs, didn't like it. Also, the CGI was not good. Like, I just feel like you could tell that movie was not made with love, which feels weird to say, but like, she had one dress and it looked cheap. I can't get over it. Anyway, saw that and then we ranted about it and I didn't get home until like midnight. So I'm very tired, and I did finish The Swimmers yesterday, the audiobook. It was sad. It choked me up. Hi, Diva. Come say hi. She says, why are you doing this to me? Oh my God. Girl. Baby. This is my life most of the time. You really... fully... Oh, don't stand on my throat. What are you doing? Yeah, I know. Oh, okay. Okay, we had to change the angle because Diva had to sit there. So I finished The Swimmers. It was good. It is the kind of book that I feel like I would want to read again. I gave it 5 stars. I feel like the swimming at the beginning and the crack in the pool kind of functioned as a metaphor, because then we go deeper into Alice and her family and her life and her dementia. It choked me up at work, so that was fun. I only read about 20 more pages of Zachary Ying. I did start Hope in the Dark by Rebecca Solnit, and that also choked me up a little bit because it's about hope and activism, and I'm interested in reading more of that. It was originally published in 2004, so it feels a little bit dated, but it also, when she talks about the activism and the outrage when George W. Bush got elected for a second time, it feels similar to some of the outrage and doomsdaying that happened in 2016, which just makes me a little hopeful that these are just the cycles we go through and things will continue to improve because they have to. That's where I'm at. So for the readathon, I have finished 2 books and it is day 4. What am I doing? It's the end of the night. Probably not going to read too much more tonight. I want to go to sleep early. I'm so tired. I am reading 4 books currently and have finished none of them. I started another book at work on audio because we'll start with the bummer, the downer. I'm struggling with Hope in the Dark. I was listening to this on audio at 1.75 speed, which is not that fast compared to some other people. And I just kept losing the thread. This is not the kind of book that I can listen to at work. What I'm struggling with is twofold. This is kind of dense. It is not just like personal essays. This is like research essays about activist movements in the 70s, 80s, 90s. So I believe that Rebecca Solnit is gonna bring it all together and make it make sense. But right now I'm just kind of in the weeds learning about these different movements. It's about activism, but it's about types of activism that I'm not super familiar with. Talking about like globalism and anti-capitalism. This was published in 2004 and it has been republished, rebranded. There are essays in the back that get closer to our current time. One of the things I'm struggling with about this book is it's about hope, and hope is being comfortable with the unknown and still doing the work and being an activist, because you never know not only what will inspire other people into their activism, but what results will come of your efforts. Whether they are exactly what you wanted or not, things will happen eventually. I'm reading about 1999 right now, and that was over 20 years ago, which sounds disgusting to say because I'm only 32. It's hard to read about knowing the future, basically, because it feels like things have gotten worse in my lifetime. You know, things have gone downhill. And whether or not that's true in all sectors, it's certainly true in some large sectors, like, you know, bodily rights and tolerant, like just all of it. Just all of it. I am 50 pages in out of 150, roughly. Vino! What the? Meow. Meow. Say hi to your fans. What a good shot. I was listening to this. I repeated the same like minute 3 times, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to listen to something else on audio. So I started The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. I got this audiobook through Kobo because I don't support Amazon. This is a romance about this woman and an author that she really likes. They start communicating through email, and then circumstances make them next door neighbors, even though she doesn't know that her pen pal is now her neighbor. I'm 40 pages in. I'm still in the emails section because this has like, it has like a little prologue, and then we get their emails, and then we get the rest of the story. So I think it's adorable. I like both of the narrators of the audiobook, and I think this is going to be fantastic. Maybe a top romance of the year. I can feel it. And then I've read a couple more pages in Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor. This is actually fantastic. Like, the more I read, the more I'm just in awe of what it's doing, because this is what it's doing so well, is straddling that line between being for people who are Chinese, who know Chinese history, Chinese descendants, people who already know these things, and people who are new to the history of China, the political climate of China, the mythology of China. Like, it is straddling so well that line between being for the people who are represented in it and being for people who are not. And our main character is Chinese Muslim, which is an identity we don't see in media. So that's really exciting, and it's funny and it's inventive, and I feel like I'm learning a lot about Chinese history and having a great time doing it. And then the fourth book I'm reading is not for the readathon, but I still haven't finished the Paris Hilton memoir. I have like 150 pages left. Really wanted to finish it today, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm gonna finish one of these books tomorrow, I swear to God. Because I feel like I'm just starting books because I want to get through them and then not finishing them. Hi friends, it is Thursday. I didn't update you yesterday because there wasn't much to say. Nothing had really changed. But today I do have some updates. I finished the Paris Hilton memoir, which was not part of this readathon. I just hadn't finished it. So I did that. I liked it. I think I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, Vino? I finished Hope in the Dark today. I don't think I've marked it on Goodreads yet, but I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It really felt like it was written for people who are kind of already in the know about activist things. This boy, Vino. And it really focused on environmental activism, which is great, which is important, but I feel like I'm more of a human rights advocate, especially since things have just feel like they're deteriorating. So it felt a little inaccessible, and it felt dated because it was originally published in 2004 and written in like 2003, 2004. It was a different world. It was a different world back then. All the social media sites didn't exist. The internet was still kind of new to the general public. The landscape of activism has changed. And while her original point of hope being important and having hope even in the unknown, even in the darkness of the future, hoping that there will be light, like, I do think her original point still stands of needing hope, and hope is the first step in making change, having hope that there will be change. And she makes some good points about perfectionism. With activism, small steps are still important, and you don't know what small step will lead to the bigger step later down the line, right? She talks about activists inspiring other activists, and activists or people seeing activists and then becoming activists themselves. Can I say activists more? The work is important for the future. Like, without the small steps and without the grassroots stuff, without those people who hope, people in the future will not hope as well. Like, you know, like it's kind of like a domino effect. So we have to work every day towards these larger goals that we may never see accomplished, but without our small steps, they definitely won't be accomplished. You know what I mean? So like, I do think that point still stands. I think overall, the book felt dated and unapplicable. That's a word, right? Like, I don't know how to apply the things that she was talking about to my real life. The 2009 essay was like fine, and it made a lot of sense, and it did make me tear up a little bit just in the way she was writing about the way people help each other in crises. But again, I don't know how to apply that to my real life. I guess it's about having hope that people are their best selves, or that people will do the right thing. Unless you are interested in environmental activism and the history of environmental activism, I would not recommend this book as like a general nonfiction interest piece. I think it was a little too specialized. And then I'm about 18% into The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. I've listened to a little bit more of the audiobook, and I think it's super cute. These characters feel like real people. Their relationship through emails already feels super sweet, and it feels mostly believable. I am 200 pages into Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor. We are getting a lot of interesting anti-hero, supervillain, like what makes a tyrant information, and I'm wondering about the ending. Like, how far is it going to delve into this emperor who perpetrated a lot of war and murder and did bad things, and now he's attached to this 12, 13-year-old boy? How is that going to play out? Is he in the right? Like, it's just very interesting morality stuff happening in here, and taking on, especially as a middle grade, taking on the idea that the world is not black and white. There are not bad guys and good guys. It is all human, and you can do great things or achieve great things through horrible means. And then the question is, does that take away from the great things you accomplished? And it doesn't give you an answer, and I am really liking that. I may update you again on Friday or Saturday, because I'm going to the zoo tomorrow, but I don't think I will have a lot of time to read. Recap on what I finished. I finished my shortest book by Warson Shire, which was poetry. I finished Hope in the Dark, which was a new format. I finished The Swimmers, which was a cover by. So I already have a bingo. I have completed the bottom 3 rows. Very excited. So technically, I've won the challenge. I don't need to finish another book, and I will still have completed my own readathon. But we're not stopping there. We're going for a full blackout. It is Saturday. Happy Catterday. We are halfway through the readathon, and I have finished 3 books. I have a bingo, the bottom of the board. Very exciting. And then I am about 215 pages into Zachary Ying. And then I'm 30% into The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest, and I'm loving it. I think it is so cute. It is so sweet. It is very rom-com. Like, you have to give away your suspension of disbelief a little bit, but I think it's also built really well, so it's easier to do that suspension of disbelief. This is going to be my last update for this vlog, and I'll see you in the next one. So if you watch this whole thing, leave an emoji or tell me what you've been reading. Do you have a bingo yet on week 1? We've got 1 more week to go. And yeah, if you like this, you could subscribe to me, you could like this video, but really, you can do whatever you want. And I'll see you next time.